Yo, what is up? We're back again with another video. And today we're going to be just talking about the original idea that that friend gave to me. And so, again, I'm going to have to give him credit here for the idea. Last video, it was only like half of the idea, but here, like, he gave me this idea completely. So, yeah, go subscribe to him and he might release a video. Who knows? Hopefully he does. But yeah, he gave me this idea, and you've already seen the title. But yeah, we're gonna be talking about brain chips and what do I think is the correct position on it. Uh, yeah, that's really all I have to say. I don't know. I keep on extending the intro. Let's actually get into the. Okay, well, again, just like with the data center thing, yeah, I should probably clarify what brain chips are. So, brain chips are a sort of new concept, and they've been realized to some scale. And what it essentially is a chip that is planted in your brain, hence the name brain chip, and it allows you to do certain things using just your brain, using your thoughts. And to me, that technology is something that's very interesting, and it's clearly showing that we're moving ahead in society. The fact that we can use these signals in our brain in order to tell a computer like something we may want to do. But the implications of it are also very, in my opinion, dangerous because if we need, uh, if we begin to rely, I should say, on these things at a large scale, that could certainly pose some kind of threat of sorts, in my opinion, because I think that if you can have a chip that is able to determine what you are thinking, what your bioelectric signals are transferring to it, and convert that into an actual movement. Like, for example, this kid here who is able to move a mechanical arm using a Neuralink brain chip in him, which isn't really a bad thing here. It's not inherently bad, but if they can already detect, if they know how to detect feelings like that, then there's not too much stopping them from going a lot further and just, using that for a lot of other purposes. And who knows, is it just one way? Is it just that your thoughts or your bioelectric signals are getting fed into it, or could it put something into you? If it's able to convert your signals into something it understands, can it convert something it understands into something you understand? These are some very important questions that I think that we have to answer about brain chips. And if we were to use them, I don't think it should be on a complete scale. I don't think everyone should be using them. I think that they should be in situations where it is a person who needs one. Let's say they have some kind of severe disability and it would benefit their lives greatly if they had one and they were able to live without a lot of that disability. Like, for example, having a mechanical hand that you can just move with your mind is very similar to just having a normal hand, except it's not made out of the same material. And so I don't think that it is really one side or the other. I don't think that we should fully reject brain chips, but I do believe that we also shouldn't have everyone using them either. I think that the technology is still developing, and so I think that we just have to simply wait. Because if we don't wait and we were to just, like get this thing going out mass production and consumerism or commodification of something as significant as brain chips, who knows what could happen? And honestly, I'm not sure that the public or anyone is ready for that kind of technology. And I mean, the spyware concerns only go further because if it can interpret your thoughts, then what else could it interpret? We don't know we don't know the answers to these questions, and so I think that it would be very important. This is something that has the potential to do very good, but we have to make sure it is regulated enough to the point where any harm it could cause is non-existent, and the people who are making such devices are not doing so out of ulterior motives. I think that that's something that everyone can agree on. And I'll see people, who argue that all brain chips are bad. And I wouldn't say that because, again, I should emphasize not all the brain chips are bad. Like, I would not want one, but I think that it's not inherently a bad thing, like I said before, because there's a lot of people who could definitely use one if they have some kind of major disability. And now there is a lot of benefits that could apply to having a brain chip that aren't just disability wise. Like, I mean, with a brain chip, who knows? Hypothetically, because I'm not an expert on brain chip technology, so I'm not exactly sure what the information about this might be. But you could, in theory, be able to look up stuff in your mind and be able to actually learn stuff in your mind. And that, to me, it sounds really cool. Like, I'm gonna be honest, that sounds pretty cool. But the risks involved with that, and I mean, they imagine your thoughts being used by companies to be sold, like that data being collected of you, and then that being sold to advertisers who can target you with ads. And hypothetically, there could be ads on a brain chip. There's not much really stopping it. If they could propagate uh, computer signals into your mind, if they can just do the reverse of what it, like the Neuralink brain chip already does, then they could certainly put ads into your mind, and you really couldn't do anything to stop it because it's likely that they have some kind of agreement that you must fulfill or, sign in order to get this thing. And it just seems a little too dangerous. Like, who knows what they could have in these things? There are so many things that we have to look out for now, and with technology getting better and better, we have to be on the lookout for those things. Like, I mean, hypothetically, they could actually have some kind of device that literally just like incinerates the brain chip. They could probably do that. They could have some form of way of overclocking it to the point of setting itself on fire and literally killing you if they really wanted to do that. So there's so many possible consequences here of having a brain chip. And so again, that doesn't make it all bad, but the result of it is that we have to actually be on the lookout for these things, have regulations for them, be ready for things like this, because that's how a lot of new and developing technologies work. We have to be pretty careful about them due to the power that they could provide to anyone. And so, yeah, that's what I mainly think about brain chips. I think that if you're someone who has a lot more to gain out of one than to possibly lose, then I think that having a brain chip would probably be the best way to go. But if you are just a average guy who, just is wowed by the benefits of it, then probably not. Now, one important thing, I should address this because it is important. One thing that you could argue is that what if a person with a severe physical disability gets one, and then the government also spies on not the government, but whoever is giving the brain chip, whoever made the manufacturer of it. Um, I think that, again, like, the regulations by the government preventing them from only selling it to these specific kinds of people, the government would probably have to very closely monitor all of these chip sales, making sure, they don't go to the wrong people and whatever. And so I think that you could definitely see problems with that. And so there's a lot of nuance with it. You can't take one side. I'm a lot in the middle, even though I have given my thoughts on here. But yeah, okay. That's really the things that I have to say about brain chips. And we're done. This was actually surprisingly long. Again, I have no idea I was able to stretch that out for such a long amount of time. That was actually kind of shocking to me. But other than that, it seems like, yeah, we are at the end. I did not include as many images just, throughout here because, I thought maybe this would be a little more easy. I'm not going very deep into this. I'm not too invested in it. And it's not something I've really taken a strong stance on. I hope you could indicate that or tell that from how I spoke about it. But yeah, that's really all I have to say. So, goodbye, and I'll see you.